How you guys doing today? It's Strategic Productions here with another video. And I wanted to talk about a game today. Well, tonight, because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I usually like to do my videos at night because it's quiet and there's nobody running around in the house. And, it's just a lot more pleasant at night. But I wanted to do a video about a game that I've been playing a lot, like, lately. And that game is Shadow of the Tomb Raider by Eidos Montreal and Crystal Dynamics, published by Square Enix. Now, I'm somebody who I would consider myself a Tomb Raider fan. I've played Tomb Raider basically, excluding some of the PS1 games. Well, I do have the PS1 games, but I haven't really fully got into them. Like, I played Tomb Raider 2, and that's about it. But I do have all of them. I basically have all of them. But I haven't really gotten into them as much as I should have. But I played the entire Crystal Dynamics trilogy on the PS3. I have the entire Crystal Dynamics trilogy on Steam. I have all 3 Reboot Tomb Raider games, including also having them on PC. So I have them on PC and I have them on console. So I would consider myself a Tomb Raider fan. I've been with Tomb Raider for a long time. I've been with Lara Croft for a long time. And a lot of people were very disappointed, like a lot of hardcore Tomb Raider fans were disappointed with the reboot games. Like, when the reboot games came out, it was like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? So, after playing all 3 reboot games, I have to say that this is the best reboot Tomb Raider game out of any of the reboot Tomb Raider games. I don't care if it's Tomb Raider 2013. I don't care if it's Rise of the Tomb Raider. No. This right here, excuse me, this right here is the best one. Hands down. And unfortunately is the one that did the worst. And I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why I think this is the best reboot Tomb Raider game. Well, for one, one thing I like about this game, let me put it down so I can actually concentrate. So one thing I like about Shadow of the Tomb Raider is that it has more of an emphasis on exploration and adventure. One thing that the first 2 games did wrong was that it was too much action and very little adventure. One of the biggest complaints that I seen with this game is that people was like, yo, it's so boring, there's nothing happens, and it's like, yeah, that's a good thing. Because what I enjoyed about it was there was a good balance between, like, exploration, combat, and puzzles. It wasn't just fucking, like, 75% combat and, like, 15% puzzles and exploration. You know, this game has everything. It has puzzles, it has exploration, and the thing that even made me so surprised with Shadow of the Tomb Raider is that the game integrates puzzles within the grand scheme of everything. So you can be playing through the story, and there'll be puzzles that will be available to do, like, in the game. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was I was like, yo, I can't believe they actually put puzzles in the game. If you play Rise of the Tomb Raider, if you play Tomb Raider Reboot, there's like little to no puzzles in the design of the game. It's like all the puzzles are in the challenge tombs. So I'm glad they did that. Another thing I loved is that the challenge tombs were upgraded in this game. They were upgraded in a way where they weren't just like, shoot the fucking arrow and where like the rope. It wasn't the same thing like it was in the last two games. In this game, they had it where they had some acrobatic challenge tunes. It was about climbing to get to a certain place. They had some tunes where you had to deal with dispensating water so that you can get to a certain place. They had tombs where, like, one of my favorite tombs was where they had these obsidian blades, and you had to like dodge these obsidian blades on both sides to climb this tower, to get to the top of to get to the top of the stele and unlock it. It's pretty cool. Like the challenge tombs in this game are awesome. Definitely worth doing if you're playing through the game. This game had the best version of Laura. A lot of people were saying, like, I was looking it up. A lot of people was like, oh, this version of Laura, well, at least her face was kind of like manly. Like, they say she looked like a she-male, and I was like, she looked like a she-male? I think she looks pretty cute. I think this version of Laura, I think is the cutest version of her. I'm not really too much into Laura as far as Laura, but I think Laura in this game is very cute, and she's the most mature and the best iteration of this reboot Laura that we have ever had. Like, there's no better version than this reboot Laura in this game. I'm talking about in the reboot series. There's no better version than this one. The one in Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I hate Rise of the Tomb Raider, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. But in Rise of the Tomb Raider, right? That version of Laura, she was a baby, she was whining, God, and let's not even talk about Tomb Raider 2013. This is the most mature, and this is the best version of Laura that we have gotten in the reboot games, at least. And I really enjoy this more mature, calculating, and smarter Laura. She's really, really badass in this game too. But yeah, man, I love the setting. I think is it Inca or Maya? It's one of those. It's one of the. I think it might be Maya. I think it's Maya because they do talk about Kukulkan, excuse me. They have that guy, and that's a guy from Mexico. So, yeah. So I think it's definitely Mexico or, Aztec and all that, and Maya and all that other stuff. But yeah, what else? I really like the skill system. I think this game, let me just say, this game has everything they were trying to do with the first two games. Everything they were trying to do with the first two games, they finally got it right with this one. They finally got it right. I love, again, the balance between exploration, combat, and puzzles. And you can also choose the difficulty at which puzzles are handled. Like, you can make them easy or you can make them hard. It's really cool, man. Yeah, the skill system. You got a lot of different cool skills that they implemented in the game. Like, they have it where you could, like, use these darts, like these hallucinogen arrows, and you could shoot people with them, and they can start going crazy and killing their comrades and shit. Laura, she also has, like, a move that she can, I think it's called, Eagle's Talon, and she could tie people up on a tree, and, oh man, this shit is so cool. And then I think when you unlock the more sophisticated version of it, she can tie them up on a tree faster, and then she can leap. She when you have the first version of the skill, you tie them up, and then you got to get off the tree. But when you get the other version of the skill, you tie them up, and then you stay on the tree, so you don't get detected by going back down to the ground. Little things like that. And this game, let me tell you, this game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, has more of an emphasis on stealth, which is a A+ for me. I love stealth. I love stealth. Stealth in video games needs to be a thing because stealth is like one of the most rewarding. Um, it's one of the most rewarding, one of the most like I think interesting ways to take down enemies in games, and it's more rewarding. It's a lot more clean than just gunning everybody down. You're more proud when you take down a whole group of enemies by way of stealth rather than just gunning them all down. And this is the game that does stealth the best. Stealth was introduced in the first Tomb Raider reboot game, but I think it was kind of like an afterthought. Same with Rise of the Tomb Raider. But this game, it actually gives you a reason to do stealth. And I think in a few sections of the game, stealth is a big part of the way how the game plays. Like there's a certain part, I'm not gonna spoil, but there's a certain part in the game where Lara doesn't have any weapons, and she just has to use stealth to navigate or to get through the area. Really cool stuff. The stealth is very, very much here in this game, and again, certain sections they force you to use it, which is why I think that's an A+ for me. Like stealth in games, especially games like this. So yeah, I mean those are some of my points. I also like how the mission system is much, much better than Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like in Rise of the Tomb Raider, the missions were terrible. In this game, the missions are a little bit more like detailed and longer. They're actually missions. You get gold currency in this game. Like again, everything they were trying to do in the previous games, they fully realized it in this title. Like this is hands down the best reboot game, and probably my favorite Tomb Raider game in this current circa year generation of gaming. They really knocked it out with this game. I don't know if Eidos Montreal made it or Crystal Dynamics made it, but whoever the fuck made it, this is it. And unfortunately, it sold the worst. I think this was probably like the lowest selling Tomb Raider reboot game, and it was like $30. That's how I got it. I got it for $30 at GameStop, and it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it's a shame because this is the best one. This is literally the best one. It's short. It's a little bit on the shorter side, but it's good enough. It's long enough for this kind of game. Excellent game. Highly recommend it. I'm gonna try to include some gameplay clips in the video while I talk. So it's gonna be kind of like a commentary. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please, whether it's Xbox One, Steam, PlayStation 4, please pick this game up. It's a fantastic game. Really deserves more than it got. Very underrated game. Pick it up.